Hey guys, Equinox is going to be my Shadowmoon Burial Ground VOD and overview, talk about the dungeon, talk about the mechanics, and yeah, talk about how hard it is. Let's get right into it. Going to go ahead and put this on 1.5 speed. So this first pack right here, you have three mobs. You have the Bone Mender, the Ritual Bones. The Bone Mender just casts Shadow Bolt, and the Ritual Bones do a stacking dot on the tank. It's called Void Slash or something, and you just have to dispel it. It doesn't hit very hard right now. There's me checking for some mobs. The new Thundering, so how the new Thundering works is 30% damage increase. I don't remember if it's healing, but 30% damage. Pretty sure it's 30% healing on all 5 people. It makes you immune to roots and slows. This also works for Storm Eater's Boon. So if you're popping Storm Eater's Boon, which is a trinket, it roots you. It will make you able to move during that. So that's actually really, really nice. So if you can press it while you're thundering, that's the ideal thing. But yeah, just talking about these mobs, just Shadow Bolt, stacking dot, as you see, a little Void Slash right there. Shadow Bolt, little Void Slash, you can parry it. Pretty sure you can diffuse this on Monk. I'm not sure if it reflects. I haven't tested that. And then he does a little heal that you have to kick. Paladin is extremely strong in this dungeon, by the way. You see right there the heal. And then there's a dot that these that they leave on people. You saw it here. Here, let me go back. See on Randall right there. Yeah, so when they die, they leave a dot on somebody. When the Ritual Bones die, they leave a dot on somebody. And yeah, that's the whole first pack. These Void Spawns, so these Void Spawns do an AoE stacking dot. So you'll see here, Void Pulse, they did this constantly stacks. This is LOSable, so if you want, you can tank this right next to a corner. People can LOS. That's the best way I found to deal with it, and that's really nice. He also does an ability, you'll see here in a second. It drops little puddles on the ground. Here's me just pulling into more mobs. But yeah, see Void Eruption. So basically, that's all this mob does is Void Pulse and Void Eruption. You can line of sight the Void Pulse and dodge the Void Eruption. Shadow Bolt from the Loyalist. Yep, still Shadow Bolt. Void Pulse again. I'm pretty sure the Loyalist only cast Shadow Bolt. And the Defiled Spirit's just melee as far as I know. I haven't seen them do anything else. Oh, they also explode when they die. No, I don't think so. I think that was just the Void Eruption. I was just seeing what these do. I don't think they do anything. Moving on to the next pack, these Skitterlings, they just auto a little bit. They don't really do too much. Just free. I don't think they give count. Yeah, they give a lot of count actually. Damn, they give like 3% for these. So yeah, these are definitely worth clearing. They literally don't do anything, so don't worry about it. Just 3%. Next we have Bone Mender and 3 Ritual Bones. Same thing as earlier. Nothing too special about this. If you're a paladin, I would recommend like pre-spell warding yourself here if you get like really high stacks of these mobs. Because they do kind of hurt the tank a little bit. But they don't really do anything else. I'm pretty sure this, yeah. And then we go over to the other side. I'm pretty sure we do another pack of these. Yep. So there's 2 of these packs over here. They're really nice percent, so I wouldn't. I would actually do these. They're pretty good. You could even do this with the boss if you really wanted to. And yeah, they're really easy packs. If they get turbo buffed, some of these packs really do need buffs. Even on fortified, I can't see them being very hard. They do not really do anything in this dungeon, which kind of sucks. But yeah, super easy. Just dispel the void dot on the tank and interrupt. All right, so this first boss kind of confused us because we were kind of goobers. But basically, it's just a cadence of light runes and like getting into the safe spot and getting into or killing the ad. So Whisper of the Dark, this is just AoE pulsing damage. These spears drop, and I'm not really sure what they're supposed to do. I'm pretty sure they just indicate how much damage Whispers in the Dark is going to do. And then they do Dark Communion, which summons an ad. This ad needs to be slowed and stunned and killed. So like you see here, it runs in really fucking fast. And then you see here, and then it full heals the boss. It does like 45% of the boss, probably less with a mortal wound. So yeah, this boss ends up being really long, and then there's Dark Eclipse. You just find the light rune. So like here, I stand in the light rune. Boom, easy peasy. And that's it. She just rinse repeats that the entire fight. There's pretty much nothing else after this. This fight can be a really long fight if you do not do that properly. So here I hodge it, and you just have to nuke it down. You see these spears don't really do anything, so I'm like pretty sure they're just indicative of the Whispers in the Dark damage. Then you get the buff for the light rune, and you're good to go. And you literally just rinse repeat that for the entire fight. There's nothing else. Yeah, this Whispers in the Dark can start hurting pretty bad. Yep, and then you just kill the ad, and that's it. I'm just going to fast forward through this fight because there's literally nothing else. It's just a rinse repeat the entire fight. Yeah, oh yeah. We let the boss heal. So she uses 6%. This goes in. 46%. So yeah, it's like a 40% heal. Fast forward a little bit. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. So these mobs, this pack is pretty rough actually. So these Exhumers summon extra mobs. These Exhumers summon extra mobs and you have to deal with them. I don't think they really do anything. I'm pretty sure there's there. But these Enslavers, they do a lot of damage if you let these casts go off. So they're called Rending Void Lash. Also, don't stand in that puddle on the ground. Either that or it's a potion. I can't really tell. But yeah, these Enslavers do a lot of damage. You want to kick their Void Lash. You can CC them as well. So if you want to CC them, you can. But they recast frequently. This is a really rough pack. I would recommend not pulling too much like I did. And yeah, that's pretty much all they do. These Exhausted Spirits just melee, and then there's the rending lightning, and then there's the void or the Shadow Bolt volley, or not Shadow Bolt volley, but Shadow Bolt. That's it. That's the whole pack. It is quite dangerous, so make sure you're pulling it reasonably. We're gonna go back and do this again. I'm gonna pull a little bit smaller. They do have to be interrupted here on their initial cast. So see, like I Divine Toll, and then it runs in. Then you just have to kick. Paladin's really good for this. As you see, I get a lot of Avenger Shield kicks. Like I said, you can CC them though, as you saw. Like I Hodge kidneyed them, so yeah, just CCing them helps a lot. Like AoE CCs help a lot. Sweep, Ring of Peace, Shockwave, Disrupting Shout, Dragon's Breath, Nox, anything like that will stop it. And then, like I said, there's the Exhumer, he summons spirits, there's Void Bolt, and you just kick that. And they spam Void Bolt, just getting good Divine Toll value. And that's the whole fight. These little runes, if you walk over them, so you're going to see right after this mob, you're going to walk over them, you're going to see these runes. If you walk over them, it summons ads. We did this, and we just pulled it with the boss, because they literally don't do anything. As you can see, I didn't even know they did that. I'm like, oh crap. This boss is really simple. You're pretty much just dodging stuff. So if Void Blast is a frontal, you do not want to point this towards your group, and your group does not want to stand where the tank is. This does a lot of damage, especially on like a 15. It does quite a bit of damage. Planar Shift, he just shifts and he does Void Vortex. We didn't really know what that did. Like it didn't show up or do anything, so it might be bugged. And then so everyone gets possessed here. Or sent to the other realm, and you had to kill your ad. So you kill your ad, and you get a buff 40% damage. You had to click your soul, and that's it. So you get this 40% damage, and you keep going. We lusted with the buff. And yeah, that's the whole fight. You literally just rinse repeat that fight. I think this boss needs another mechanic, personally. Void Devastation, this is you just dodge this. I think these runes summon ads, if I'm not mistaken, if you walk over them. Don't quote me on that. Or they just go away and they just leave a void zone. I'm not sure, but they look like the ones that summon ads. So I'm gonna assume that they're just bad circles though. But you just don't stand on them. They don't do anything. And then he planar shifts. Does his void vortex, and yeah, that's it. That's the whole fight. Moving on to the next pack. More subjugated souls and exhumers. And enslavers, there's a lot of enslavers here. So yeah, Avenger Shield that. This pack is pretty rough if you don't have a lot of CC and interrupts. So you see I'm like Avenger Shielding off cooldown pretty much. I missed the kick like 4 times. So these Exhumers can't be silenced, but they can be interrupted. And then we just had to keep getting them in. Good silence by the priest. Yeah, these packs are pretty straightforward. Just kick and CC, and that's it. So this is the next area. These are monstrous corpse spiders. They do 2 casts. One is Death Venom, and it leaves a nasty dot. So right there, you kick it. And then there's Plague Spit from the Plague Bats. The Plague Spit leaves a dot as well. Just make sure you kick it. Yeah, just a dot. So basically all these packs are just really, really heavy kicks. Like, kicks are very, very important in this key. And then there's more skitterlings. You had to kill those. Those 3%. And then we come down here. More monstrous corpse spiders. Kick Death Venom. And then they do Necrotic Burst. Pretty sure Necrotic Burst is just AoE. I don't think we ever let it go off, so I never got to really test it. Oh yeah, there we go. So just AoE. Very undertuned AoE. So you see here, it literally just doesn't do any damage. So a lot of these mobs are extremely undertuned, so I wish they'd buff them up a little bit. I hope they buff them up a little bit, because right now this dungeon's a little too free. Then they have these carrion worms. So these carrion worms are pretty much like a precursor to the boss. They do body slam, which will knock you into the water. And if you see in the water that little fountain to the right next to the enemy forces percent, that's how you get back up on the platform. You just walk over. More plague bats. You just kick these. And then fetid spit. That's just tank damage. Body slam again, and then he goes down. Yep, then you just rinse repeat. You do this again. Body slam, fetid spit, and that's it. It's whole mob. These guys don't do any damage pretty much. Yeah, they're very, very easy. They'll probably buff them up a little bit. That's kind of pretty much a common theme in this dungeon they found. They don't really do much. And then this boss is pretty much, so he does fetid spit. Then he does corpse breath, which is just AoE on the platform, as far as I know. Might be tank facing, so if you're like in front of the tank, it might hit you. Like, we couldn't really tell. It didn't really do anything no matter what. See these little circles in the back, bottom right above my details? Those are like the Neltharian's lair boss. You have to stand on them when he does his suck, and you'll see. So he does inhale, and then we stand. We stood behind them, but you can stand in them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really do much damage. Like I said, this dungeon is extremely undertuned. So, all right, and then he summons carrion worms in the back. And you see, I got knocked off there. The other carrion worms also do a body slam, so you have to dodge them. If you get knocked on this side of the platform, there's no water. I couldn't find it. And then I just got pre-script up. So you can't pre-script up. Try not to get knocked off like me. That was kind of goober. And yeah, you just rinse repeat this the whole fight. Make sure your DPS are killing the ads. Those carrion worms are the ones left over from the platform. So yeah, their HP carries over. And you deal with the inhale. Boss ports. If you have a class with like a visual dot, like a fire mage with the ignite, you can see where the boss ports just by looking at the little fire on his model. He'll be invisible, but there'll be a little fireball, and then he does inhale again, and yeah, that's literally the whole fight. If you get inhaled, this is what happens. It just shoots you in the water, and you have to jump on this. You see it's kind of buggy, and yeah. And you're going to see the little fire you see right there, right in the middle of my screen under the text. That's how you can tell where the boss goes. Dodge the body slam, and that's it. That's the whole fight. Very, very simple. Pretty undertuned, which is unfortunate, but that'll get changed up. And then we go to these monstrous corpse spiders and plague bats. Same thing. Same song and dance. Yeah, super, super simple. If you have a poison dispel, I would recommend bringing it. There's a decent amount of poison dots in this key, so yeah. Fast forward onto this last room. So this last room, these two are unskippable. You're gonna see we try to skip them here. There might be like a reset tech on them maybe, but I think you have to kill them, I'm pretty sure. Be able to do them. These are the same as yesterday. You can pull them separately. Do not do what I did unless you're gonna double LOS them. Is very dangerous, so you're gonna see it hurts. Yeah. So basically what you can do is you can tank it right next to the doorway and LOS it. And yeah, it makes it really easy. But we didn't do that. We didn't figure out they can be LOS until after we start dying on this. As you can see, I'm like panicking. B-res. Yeah. So basically you just need to LOS these. So you see this doorway that they're gonna be on right here? You can just stand behind them. And yeah, that's it. That's literally all those mobs do. We got kind of rolled by them, but if you want to make it easier on yourself, just tank them right next to the doorway around that corner, and just have everyone LOS each cast, and you're good to go. If you perfect that strat, you can definitely do 2 at a time. And yeah, that's the whole fight, or that's the whole set of trash in the dungeon. Skip the cinematic, and then you do Ner'zhul. This fight. Very simple, very few mechanics, but they are quite punishing if you aren't paying attention. So he drops a little zone on the ground and does proximity damage. You're gonna see. Malevolence is the frontal targeted at players. So see that little rune on the ground? That does proximity damage. He does the frontal again, and then he does this. So all you have to do in this part is pick 1 Ritual of Bones and nuke it down, and that's the safe spot. That's all you have to do. And yeah, that's it. You pretty much just nuke this down as fast as possible. They do have quite a bit of HP. If you don't have a good amount of single target, but yeah, that's pretty much the whole fight. If you get hit by this Malevolence, by the way, you do 50% reduced damage. There's the rune, does a lot of damage. And that's it. You rinse repeat the entire fight. These runes, I think they're player spawn. Pretty sure they're player spawn. Yeah, they spawn directly on players. So ideally you want your range to be across the room from you. And then you focus 1 down. You see here I'm trying to like point the Malevolence in a way, but I just figured out it's targeted on players. I figured I tried to like try to influence it a little bit. Yeah, if you take too long to kill the ad, he'll do a rune at the end of this, and it'll suck. So the faster you kill it, the better. And yeah, that's the whole fight. You literally rinse repeat that, and the fight's over. I was just checking the dungeon journal there to see if the Malevolence affected the ads at all. But yeah, you just rinse repeat that and you're good. That was much easier. He didn't spawn the rune yet by the time we were finished. And yeah, that's the whole fight. The dungeon's fairly simple. The bosses do not have much mechanics, but I can see them being punishing on high keys. And yeah, I'd say it's a pretty balanced dungeon once the trash gets buffed a little bit and the bosses get buffed a little bit. I think Ner'zhul doesn't really need any buffs. That's obviously gonna scale like pretty insane. I would have to play with a different set of classes to know if the ad check is hard, but I think this dungeon's good. Once they tune the trash, like I said, it's going to be a pretty fun dungeon. It's very short. There's not a lot of trash that you can pull, which is, I think it's kind of fun. It's nice to have short dungeons. The void spawn dudes are a little nutty, especially if you don't have an LOS area. I think they might need to increase the cooldown of that cast. But that's about it. That's pretty much all I would do. Just buff the damage of the mobs, nerf the void cast a little bit, just by increasing its cooldown. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something about Shadowmoon Burial Grounds. Have a wonderful day. Subscribe. Like the video. It helps a lot. And peace.